Welcome back to the wine barrel smoker project. Here we are with the barrel inverted. You can see we have our intake all mounted and our legs are all mounted now. And you can see where I've marked the top of the barrel for when I did take the legs off and on. I knew where to put them on. The numbers are marked on the legs as well. So, and the bottom of the barrel isn't coated because it doesn't need to be coated, it's underneath. There's the top laid on. We have our handle. You can see our hinge plates, how they swing the top up quite nicely. We just put a piece of stainless steel chain on the side with a couple of rings mounted on, and it operates quite nicely. So what we're about to do now, we need a bung. That's the hole in the wine barrel. I want to make something a little bit special. So we just have a piece of fur here. Just checking to make sure it's nice and smooth. And we'll bring that down a size. The bungs are tapered, about 3% taper going into the hole. So what you want to do is you figure out your taper on your length, and then turn it that into it. Here we are, just making the end. I already have it down a size and it's slightly tapered, and we want it to be a little bit longer so it's easy to hang on to. You don't want to fill in your bung because when you're smoking, when you're hot smoking, you're going to want the coals to be a little bit hotter. So you're going to, a bit of a chip there. So being able to take the bung out, bung plug I guess it's called, will allow more air in. So when you're hot smoking or barbecuing inside the barrel, you can just take that out and it'll allow more air to go in. When we're cold smoking, we'll be installing a pipe along the outside of it, and the pipe will only have a 1/4 inch hole in it because you're not going to need a lot of air going into the barrel, because it's a cold smoke that'll come from the outside. So here we are, just making a little bit of a grab on the end of the plug, and we're just rounding it off a bit on the end so that it's nice and easy to get into the hole. And we'll just move the tool rest after we get it squared off on the end. Almost cut it in the wrong spot. Here we go. We'll just cut that off. Not all the way through because we still want to sand it so it's nice and smooth. Just giving ourselves some room there to get in and cut it off. So it just makes it easier to work with. You just want to round it over a little bit more, a little bit deeper, a little bit more detail on the end. That'll be the handle end that you'll grab and pull out. It's the same thing on the other end. Always go down, never go up. Just follow your cut down into your groove. And it'll make a nice round over edge. There we are, just giving it a final sand. Doesn't have to be too awful smooth, but just make it nice and smooth. And what we'll do is we'll end up painting this or staining it black to match the barrel as well. So it'll blend in with it. It'll be a nice feature. Just curving up the sandpaper to get into those grooves. Sandpaper that I use, I save all my sanding belts and cut them up because they're still good for sanding on the lathe. And here we're just going down to 220, just giving it a final sand, and then we'll remove that and cut it off. There it is there after it's been painted black. We just gave it a coat. What I've got here is this is a drill bit that's the perfect size of a toonie, and it's designed for a toonie, so we'll mount that in the drill press. There's our toonie, and what we want to do is lay that into the top of the bung plug. Just tighten that up into the brace and the chuck, and we'll just drill down enough to lay the coin in, and I'll just put a dab of epoxy on it. And the polar bear will be on the outside, so we'll have a polar bear plug. And I'll just put that underneath the thing, see if we need some more room. We probably do. Never try and hang on anything like this with a big bit. Those bits are razor sharp, so what I'm doing is just making a flush on the bottom, mounting it in the wood clamp, and checking it for height. And we gotta lower the, just make sure that's nice and tight, which it is. And we want to just undo the clamp, drop the table an inch, and then tighten it back up. Got to make sure that you know what you're doing on the tools if you're using them, and don't do it while the bit is, there it is again, that's going to be going into the top of the plug. Just a nice little feature for the plug. And just lay it up. I already have a pinpoint where the center is, so I want to adjust my backstop so that that's going to go right and follow all the way down through. And it's clamped solid in the wood vise, so it won't get caught and be thrown out of my hand. There we go. I'll just give that a drill. Perfect. Turn it on. Get the fingers out of the way. And we're just going to bring that down enough of a relief that the coin will just sit in the end, and it should pop in there quite nice. These bits are available on Amazon, but they're sized for coins. You can get them for toonies and loonies and silver dollars and quarters and nickels, and they fit perfectly because they're not a standard bit size. All coins are a specialty size, and that'll just epoxy in nicely. A little polar bear on the end of it, and there we go. On to part 2. And so we started a small fire, and I want to check the smoke out in the barrel. So I actually built a little tray that goes in there. There's our plug, our bong plug. It's gone in the hole. It's a little out of focus, but it does look nice. And what's nice about that is that we can remove it when we need more air going in for combustion, because this is a hot and a cold smoker. So either we'll have an offset smoker, or we'll put a pan on the base of it on the inside, and I have the pan on bricks on the inside, so that's not laying right on the wood in the bottom when we want to hot smoke it. There's the handle on it, and you'll see we have a stack on top now. That was just a piece of 2-inch galvanized electrical conduit pipe. I just cut the angle on top, and then took a piece of steel and put a wing nut on top of it as a flap, so I can control the amount of smoke that's leaving the barrel. There it is there. You see I just bent over a flap and put a little wing nut there, and I can control the exit of the smoke. We painted our backer blocks for the hinges black. Just got to clean up the edge a little bit, but that's working away. It's doing its job. Smoke coming out of the top. No, there we go. No smoke coming out of the sides, which is nice. It's just rolling up into the top portion of the barrel lid and coming out of the top. It's coming out nicely. That'll give a nice smoke. So that's a good test. And just smoking away. Same thing, the pipe goes down to the bottom of the barrel. You see there's the entire barrel there. We've given it one more coat of spar varnish. Minwax is the product that I like to use. We've used it for years, it works good. And so the legs and the barrel is all coated with spar varnish. And I didn't over sand it. I didn't want to bring the wood back to new. I liked seeing the patina on the outside of the barrel. And it's looking good. There's the lid open. You can see how stable the lid is. It opens up quite well. It really operates good and it's quite stable. And the barrel isn't tippy at all. So when you put it on your chain, it's just offset just a little bit that the lid lays back of the barrel a bit. And you can see the exit there for the pipe. It came flush to the inside of the barrel. And it's smoking away. So the next thing is I'll build the inside brackets for the shelf and get ready for the shelf and put the bases in and build our offset for the outside. Thank you for watching.